Welcome back, CHRISSY CREW, and thank you guys for tuning into another video. And in this video, we are going to be going over my favorite products of 2020. I am not doing a best of 2020 because I just didn't purchase enough makeup to do a best of 2020. So I'm just going to show you guys what are my favorite things that I've been using throughout the year of 2020, my go-tos and everything like that. So if you guys have not subscribed to be a part of the CHRISSY CREW yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys like these videos and want to see more favorite videos like this, then please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and also hit the notification bell so you guys are notified whenever I post a new video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay guys, so as I was coming up with this list, I really had to think about what I wanted to feature, what I wanted to talk about, how many of the items I should use and talk about in general. So I have a couple of things here on my table that I'm gonna get into, and I just really love everything that I have here. So I think the most important thing to start off with is skin prep. Always, skin prep is literally the most important thing in makeup. You want to make sure your skin has a great base to start off with, whether it's you doing your own makeup, you doing a makeup on client. So you want to make sure you have the best skincare. There's a whole ton of skincare out there, but these are just things that I've caught myself using or that I've returned to using throughout pretty much the whole year of 2020 when I've done my makeup. So let's get right into it. First, you have to have a great moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin or if you have combination skin or you have dry skin, you should always moisturize your face, just because depending on what you use, say you're oily skin and you're using a lot of mattifying products, then your face is just going to look super dry. So you want to still at least base your face with something that's moisturizing, and having a good moisturizer is like so important. So I love e.l.f. and a lot of my products here, or I don't know if a lot of them here, but I have a couple of products here that are e.l.f. e.l.f. has really stepped their game up. Their quality has been on top. Like, I am so in love with e.l.f. products, like I can't even believe it. Like, I should be a spokesperson for e.l.f. because I freaking love all of their products. So my go-to moisturizer right now, I am using some other things, I'm still testing them out, but I usually find myself when I'm prepping my skin for makeup going to this is the e.l.f. Daily Hydration Moisturizer with purified water, jojoba, and vitamin E. As you can see, it is pretty empty, it is super thin, but it's such a good moisturizer. e.l.f. has a really great skincare line in general. They do have things that really cater to different skin types. I have tried multiple items from them that are skincare related, and I usually love all of them. So this is my go-to moisturizer right now for makeup. It's creamy, it's not heavy, it really soaks into the skin, really gives my skin that hydration that I need. So I really love this moisturizer and I definitely recommend it. This is definitely one of my top favorites of 2020. I don't have another option for moisturizer. Literally, this is the only thing that I've used besides what I'm trying out now, and I'm not putting that into my favorites list because it's not my favorite yet. So this is the only moisturizer I have at the moment on my list. Going into primer, I do have a couple of different primers that I've been using a lot, and I kind of switch in between. The first is going to be e.l.f. again. This is the Puff Puff Primer. This is part of their Cannabis Sativa line. So this has hemp-derived cannabis sativa. It is also a moisturizing primer. It has a cream-like consistency, and I love that because, again, my skin is dry. So when it's more of a cream-like consistency, I honestly prefer that more, just because I feel like the cream really soaks into my skin better. This one is a really great primer. Like I said, it's very moisturizing, really helps the foundation and everything stick to the skin. So I love this primer. Next, this I think is my top favorite primer, and I'm almost finished with it. This is the Unicorn Glow Hydrating Primer. This is a brand in CVS. They are in select CVS, so you would have to check if they are at your CVS's, but you can go on their website. I believe it's unicornglow.com. I'll leave their website below if you guys do want to check them out, but this is the Unicorn Glow Hydrating Primer. I love this primer. It is a gel consistency, but it does hydrate my face very nicely. A little goes a long way. I don't have to use a lot. I probably use like a dime size, but this is literally my go-to hydrating primer. Their line is super cute, very kind of like glittery and like just full of like life, like unicorns and glitter and sparkles and all that. That's what this kind of brand is. Super cute packaging with all their stuff also. Then up next for primers, I love the Flower Beauty Hydrating Primer as well. This is the In Your Prime Hydrating Primer. I just recently purchased this, and I did a video on the Flower Beauty products that I purchased as well. So if you guys want to see that video, I'll go ahead and link it up here so you guys can take a look at that. But this is a really good primer. It is also It's not like a creamy primer, but it's not like a gel primer either. It's like kind of in between. It has like a light blue tint to it, but it feels like kind of a gel like a kind of gel like consistency. But it's really good. I do like this. I have been using this more often, just to really see if I like it. But so far so good. I think that it deserves to be in my top 20, even though I just got it, but I like it. And lastly, for skin prep, I think that out of all of them, this one has really become my favorite. Not more than the hydrating primer, but this is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I'm so happy that I picked this up and I tried this, because the way that it leaves my under eye area and like this front area here, it just always, every time I use it, has a flawless finish. Like, it looks so smooth, it looks so nice. Like, if you see how nice and flawless my skin looks. Today I actually used the moisturizer here, I used the puff primer, and then I used the Poreless Putty Primer on top as well. So these three things are what I have on my face for skin prep today. And look at my base. My base is so flawless, so beautiful. Even though I have some acne and I have like some bumps, like overall my skin looks very smooth. And it's important to really treat your skin very well so that you can get a good finish. But yeah, I really do love this primer. Definitely recommend it. It's on the affordable side. A lot of my products here are on the affordable side because I just love drugstore products. I think that they are just really amazing. You know, they have evolved so much throughout the years because makeup has evolved so much throughout the years, and drugstore products, I really feel like people should not limit themselves just to high-end products because of the name or because it's like this price or that price. Drugstore products can give you the same kind of finish that a high-end product can. So that is it for skin prep. Next, we're going to go into foundation. And for foundation, I do have I have 4 foundations that have been my kind of go-to foundations. My top favorite foundation on the list, the highest of them all, is the Physician Formula's The Healthy Foundation. I'm not sure when I purchased this one. I probably purchased it in the beginning of the year, but this is literally my go-to foundation. I love this foundation. Packaging wise, it's a like very thick, very sturdy glass bottle. The way that it opens up, it has a doe so it's easy to apply on the face, and I love that. I love that I don't have to use multiple brushes and sponges. I love that I can just put it on my face. This is the foundation that I have on today, and just look at how nice and natural and soft this foundation is. This is by far my favorite foundation. I have not been able to find it in stores. When I went online to purchase it, they were sold out of my shade. So I am on the hunt for this right now because this is getting super low, but this is literally my all-time favorite foundation. I love this foundation. So the next foundation we're going to get into is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I am in the shade 01 or 02. I can't remember what shade I'm in, so I have both of these here, but I use this religiously on my clients. This is the foundation that I have in my kit. This is one of the best foundations that I have come by so far for like my makeup clients and having a nice kind of full coverage but not heavy foundation. I love this foundation. It's lightweight, very buildable, but it still has a full coverage even though it is a lightweight foundation. You can definitely build up on this foundation. You can leave it as is with one coat. This is just an amazing flawless foundation. Also, what I like about this foundation, I've noticed with some of my clients say my foundation is a bit off. When it oxidizes, it literally just seeps into the skin and the color just blends perfectly. So I have not had any trouble color matching my clients with these. I have probably 8 or 9 of them in my kit. If you guys have not seen what's in my kit and want to know all the products that I use on my clients, then I'll leave that link somewhere up here as well, or I'll leave it in the description box so you guys can check that out and see what makeup I use on my clients. But this is my go-to foundation for it. If I want to go out and I want to have more coverage on, I would use this foundation. So I've used this more for events than for like an everyday kind of thing. So I love this foundation. Again, an amazing foundation and super affordable. This foundation that I want to add to my favorites list is the Rare Beauty foundation. This is the Weightless foundation, something like that. I am in the shade 180N for this foundation. I actually just used this in my last video I posted for the smoky eye tutorial. So if you guys have not checked that one out, go ahead and do so. I will leave the link below or above somewhere in this video. I will leave it so you guys can check that out. But I love this foundation, and when I first used it, I did a tutorial on the Rare Beauty line, not all of it, just some of the products that I picked up. It did kind of cake up a little bit, but since then I've really mastered how to use this foundation. I've prepped my skin a little bit different for this foundation, but this gives me a very nice flawless finish as well. This is a super buildable foundation also, and the way that it opens, it also has a doe foot, which I really like. I love foundations that come like this. I didn't mention the Milani. The Milani foundation just comes in a pump, so you just put it on a brush or on your sponge. I typically put it on a brush and then put it on my face and then use my sponge to blend it out. But when I have a foundation that has a doe foot like this, I really am super happy because I don't have to do that extra step of putting it on a brush. But this foundation, again, yeah, it's super good. I think that the color matches me perfectly. Very lightweight, very buildable. You can definitely get a full coverage look with this. You would have to probably build it up a little bit, add a couple of layers, but it is a good foundation to wear every day. It's a good foundation to wear if you wanted to go out. I think it's kind of good for both day and night. And lastly, this has become one of my favorites recently. This is the Flower Beauty Get Real Foundation Serum. This foundation is like skin. I like this because I can just throw this on if I wanted to go to the store, if I wanted to go to work and just have a little bit of foundation. This foundation is it. It is so lightweight. It is so smooth. It's melts right into my skin. It looks like I literally have nothing on, and that's why I love this foundation. I probably used it maybe 3 or 4 times since I've purchased it, which is not a lot, but because of the way it makes my skin look and the way that it feels on my skin, I added it to this list because it is just that good. I was super surprised at how much I like this when I tried it. And honestly, like I said, it's just a really good everyday foundation. This is not a foundation to use if you want to get glammed up, if you want full coverage, if you want a cake face. This is not it. This is your lightweight, everyday, natural go-to foundation. And this, I am in the shade Ivory L2. Pretty much all of my foundations that I use, I'm in the fair ivory light range. If you are fair or you're kind of like my skin tone, you can refer to the foundation colors that I use because I am very fair. So now moving on to concealers, I only have 2 here that I really liked and I felt like needed to be added to my 2020 favorites. I actually don't have any of these on my face today. I wanted to test out the Flower Beauty concealer again to see if I wanted to add it to my list. I don't want to add it to my list, but I do think that it looks really pretty today. I just don't like the coverage that it has under my eye here. Up close, it looks a little washed and kind of creasy, and I don't like that, but it is a good concealer. It's just not making it to my favorite. So my first favorite is going to be the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Fair Warm. I love this concealer. This has really been my go-to. Like, this concealer, it's super hydrating. It's very lightweight, it's buildable, but it gives so much coverage also. So like a little goes a long way, and I am just super pleased that they came out with this. I used to always watch other YouTubers say how good the regular Camo concealer is, but I've never tried that. So once I saw they came out with the hydrating one, I definitely wanted to purchase it to try it out, and this is like my go-to. I prefer this over Too Faced Shape Tape, whatever that is. Don't like that one. I've purchased that and I could care less for it. This is my go-to concealer. I love it. Love, love, love this one. And then my other concealer that I have been loving as well is the Rare Beauty concealer. So this, I forgot the names of them, but this is the shade 170W. I think it's called Brightening and Weightless Conceal. I don't know, something like that. But this has also been a go-to. I actually really love the doe foot on this. It's like more slanted, so it gets right into like that eye area there. A little goes a long way with this as well. This has really just been a really nice concealer. Days that I don't want to use e.l.f. and I want to go just a little more higher end, I use this one. But it's color wise, it's a little lighter shade than my e.l.f. one, so it does give me a little more brightness. Sometimes I'll mix the two and put a little of the Rare Beauty on top here and then a little of the e.l.f. under here and kind of blend them out. But that's really like if I want to be extra. They are a little bit different. This is a little bit lighter, but both work really great and I love both of them. I really recommend them both. Moving on to like powders and setting powders and things like that, I only have a little Laura Mercier powder because I finished my full size, but I just started using this year, and as everyone else loves it, I love it as well. I used to use the Airspun powder, and I do like that powder also. It's a good powder, but this one I feel like gives it a little bit more of a flawless finish. I did use it today. It just really sets the under eye really nicely. I don't bake with this. I just kind of set the under eye and then wipe it away. But this has really been great on my under eyes and just helping with creases and things like that. So I really love the Laura Mercier, and I do use this in my kit as well. Such a great setting powder. And for face powder, I love the Sephora Micro Smooth face powder. This is in the shade Light. I never used to set my face. I never used to use face powders. Until this year, I've seen a lot of my favorite YouTubers really love and recommend this one, so I went out and tried it, and I do love it also. I used it to set my face today, so that's why I only have one, because I was never into setting my face until 2020. So this is my go-to. I don't use it every single time, but majority of the times I do set my face with this. Now moving into contouring and bronzing, my go-to cream contour is the e.l.f. cream contour palette. This is the one I use in my kit. I just wanted to show you guys a nice version of it because the one that I use is all beat up. So this is how it actually looks. Very nice. Mine is broken and half empty. It looks crazy, but this is it. I use this, and I also use the Huda Beauty Tantour contour, whatever you want to call it. But this I just feel like, I don't know, I just really like this one. And I mostly use the Huda when I do my makeup clients because it is a more higher end and it is really smooth and creamy. But this one also is really smooth and creamy. Like the contour on my face, I use this today. I just love how it is. It's super blendable. It's super creamy. It really sinks into the skin. Really looks nice and skin-like. Like you see my face today, it's not over contoured. Like it's just a nice natural cream contour, and that's what I love about this. I usually mix between these two shades, the dark one and the medium one, but overall this has really been one of my favorite cream contours. The Huda one is also really good, but this is my go-to. This is what I for myself always use, and so I had to show you guys this one because this is it. If you guys have any other ones you want to recommend besides the Huda one, let me know, because I would love to try something else, but for right now, this is it. This is my favorite. Now when it comes to bronzers, my go-to is the Hoola Benefit. This is the standard Hoola one. I know they have like a caramel shade, they have a darker shade. This is just your standard one. As you can see, it's at the pan. I have to definitely get a new one soon, but I love this. I used this today. This also gives me a really nice finish. Just makes everything look very nice and seamless and natural. So I love using this one. I also have this for my clients that I use as well. And then if I don't want to use the Hoola that day, say I want to go like just a little bit darker, I go in with the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the matte poreless pressed powder in the shade Mocha. It is probably a little bit darker than the Hoola one, maybe a bit more tinted. So this gives me just a little bit more color. Some days that I want to be like a little bit more bronzy, so I always, in between the two, I'm using these. I have other ones in my collection, but I just don't reach for them as much as I reach for these two. So these two are my top two. I love these. It always just gives me a really nice finish. It really just warms up my face nicely, not where it's like too much. Like it's just a really nice product. So I really love these two. Going into blush, I do have a couple of blushes here. Right now, I don't have a cream blush that I like, or I've tried. Honestly, I have the e.l.f. cream blushes, but those are not my favorite. I don't really like that. I'm not big on cream blushes, but I do want to get into it because I love how the cream contour looks. So I know cream blushes will really accentuate my skin and really look really cute too. But for right now, my favorites are the Flower Beauty, the Flower Pot Powder Blush. This is in the shade Peach Primrose. Sorry, it's like upside down. I had to read it. This is the shade Peach Primrose. It's a really pretty peachy pink. I really like this. I used it today on my cheeks, so you see it has like just a nice warmth, a nice kind of color to it. Not too much pink, not too much peach. It's just like a nice like natural kind of thing. I really like that. Then also this is the Wet n Wild Nudist Society blush. This blush actually has some reflexes in it, so I like to use this when I don't want to add highlight on. As you can see, it has like really nice gold reflexes, really pretty. Also like a nice peachy shade. Peachy shades have really been what I've been using this past 2020. I used to use more pinky blushes, but lately, this past year, I've really been going more towards the peachy. I just really like how it complements my skin, so that's what I've been using. And lastly, for blushes, the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush. This is in the shade Bliss. This is a really nice peachy, kind of a mauvey peachy blush, and I'm just gonna put it on my hand a little so you guys can see the color, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's like a peach. Yeah, I guess you can say peach. This a little goes a long way, and it comes with a little cute dofa, with the dofa being like flat on top. So all you do is just like put 3 little dots and blend it in. Sometimes I find that it gets stuck to my cheek a little and doesn't blend out too well, but I really do like the pigmentation of it. I really do like the color it brings to my cheeks, so I do like to use this. I only use this if I'm wanting to get really dressed up, if I'm going somewhere, if it's a holiday, then I use this. Otherwise, I like to use the powder blushes. I just like how powder blushes are, but I definitely like this. And I know she actually just came out with cream blushes too, so I definitely want to try that because I love this blush and I actually really like her products. So definitely want to try out her new products too. Going into highlight, I have a couple of different highlights that I like. I have 2 from Wet n Wild. These are the Mega Glow highlights. One is in the shade Golden Flower Crown. The other one is Precious Petals. Today I have on Golden Flower Crown. The Precious Petals is a nice like rose gold color. Super pretty, very pigmented. As you guys can see, the shine is there. Honestly guys, I didn't even set my face today, and you see the glow that it has. Usually what I like to do is I'll set my face and then add the highlighter on top so that you can really see the glow. But I didn't do that today, and this glow is really just amazing. I love these highlighters. They're very pigmented, super shiny, and they're just really, really good quality. I also have been using the Girl Lactic Skin Glow in the shade Moonlight, and this is a cream highlight. So I tend to, obviously, as you can see, use this shade. This doesn't have a shade name. It just says Moonlight, so I don't know which one is, but this is like the more goldeny shade, and I love this. This has given my skin such a nice like within glow, if that makes any sense. Like when I press this on, I don't even put highlighter on top because the way that it sits on my skin, it's just such a nice like refreshing glow. So like when I move it, it just looks like the sun is hitting my face. It's not like powdery looking or anything. It just sits really, really nicely on the points that you want it to sit. So that's why I really, really like this one. It has been one of my favorites for a while now actually, but during 2020 I caught myself really reaching for this one rather than powder highlights. So this one, amazing. I love, love, love this one. Going into lips now. I used to be more of like a matte lipstick kind of girl. Lately, I want to say probably the past 2 years, I don't like matte, and I've tried to purchase some matte lipsticks to see, and I just don't like it. I like my lips nice and glossy, silky and glowy. So for lips, liner wise, these have been my go-to liners. These are the e.l.f. Retro Paradise liners. These don't have any shades, but they're 2 nude ones. I do believe they have a third one, and I don't know where it is, but these 2 are my go-to liners, as well as this one. This is just a regular lip pencil that I got from the dollar store probably. This is in the shade Cocoa. So I like to use this when I want to give my lips a little more of definition and outline. I don't overline my lips, so these are my natural lips. Thank you, God, for blessing me. So when I use this, I just like to do it to give it a kind of like just better effect to it. So I did first go in with, I think it was this shade, but it was a little too light, so I lightly just outlined the rest of my lip with this just to give it that kind of, you know, you see it, the darkness. I don't know what to call it, but that nice outline. So these are my go-to lip liners. These are always what I'm going to wear. I'm never going to switch it up. I love these 3 colors. And for lips, I have one lipstick that I love. This is the L'Oreal Pump and Shine lipstick. It is the shade Coconut Plump 107. And this, it looks a little crazy, but it's like a nice nudie color. It actually really does plump the lips. It does give you a little tingling effect when you use it. I love anything, honestly, that's gonna plump my lips up. I like a full looking lip. I like the tingling sensation knowing that my lips are being plumped as well as moisturized at the same time, because there's a lot of things out there that can plump your lips but really dry them out. That one is a nice nourishing one. It's creamy, it's smooth. I love that one. My all-time favorite lip gloss is the Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild. This is in the shade Send Nudes. This is what I have on today. This is what I have on pretty much every video. I am in love with this lip gloss. I'm so happy that I found this lip gloss. I used to wear the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit's matte lipsticks, but I have not, like I said, I have not used the matte lipstick in so long. This is my go-to. The shade is like the perfect shade for me. It's the perfect nude. It's not too light. It's not too dark. It literally complements me so well As you can see, I love this lip gloss. Next for lip glosses, I have the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. These are the shades I have. I do have another shade as well. I don't remember what the name is, but these are the two I feel like I use the most. I'll majority of the time use this as a topper on top of the Wet n Wild lip gloss. I didn't do that today. I used this to top it just to add a little bit more of a copperness to it. But these are lifted lip glosses, so basically they're pumping lip glosses as well, and they have hyaluronic acid in here, so it does give your lips a nice full look also. I mean, the more plumping stuff you're going to use, the more plumper your lips are going to look. Overall, the colors, I love the colors. These are natural, they're nude. That's what I like to wear. I don't like really too much color on my lip. The most I'll do is a pinky nude. Other than that, it's mostly just a plain lip gloss or, you know, a nice little tan color. But I love these. I love the packaging on them as well. They give me like Kim Kardashian vibes. I love the packaging. It's just super classy, super cute. This is in the shade Ice, and this one is in the shade Amber. So Amber, Ice, favorites. My last favorite lip gloss is going to be the Kylie lip gloss. This is in the shade Diva. This is a nice pinky nude. When I want to do a pinky nude, this is what I go to. I love the consistency of it. I love that it's not sticky. If you guys can see the shade, I love that it's not sticky. I love that it just glides on really nicely. I like the shade that it is. I like that it's a pinky nude. So when I want to add some color, this is what I go to. Or any lip gloss that's kind of like this color. I do have a couple, but I do find myself reaching for the Kylie. I also saw that she was coming out with plumping lip gloss, so I want to look into that because I love anything plumping. Like I've been saying, a lot of my stuff are plumping things. But yeah, overall, this is one of my favorites from Kylie. I do want to get, I saw she had like just a couple of sets that have different nudes and like shine. So I want to get all of those because those are what I gravitate towards. Those are what I like to use. And honestly, for my clients as well, I use a lot of nudes, a lot of neutrals, a lot of pinky nudes. So I think that they would be a good fit to add into my kit as well. Last but not least, we are going to get into eyeshadow palettes. I wanted to leave this for last because this is where all the fun comes in. This is where all the color comes in. This is where you kind of just get an idea of me and what I like. So firstly, I am really surprised of how much I liked these palettes. I personally did not want to purchase these palettes, but I said, you know what, I think it would be good to have in my kit. This is a great artist himself, so I said, why not? Let me get it. These are the Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palettes. This is the Master Metallics palette. This is the Master Mattes palette. This honestly just is sitting in my kit. These are my go-tos for my kit. My clients, a lot of them just want nice natural makeup. A lot of them want like a bronzy glow, and these two palettes really give me that. So I'm trying to be extra and hold you both, but I'm gonna go first. So this is the matte palette. As you guys can see, it's matte, it's messy, beautiful palette. I bought the Jeffree Star Orgy palette with the intent to use it on all of my clients. It's a great palette full of neutrals, but once I got this palette, I literally don't even open my Jeffree Orgy palette anymore. And I'm so surprised because that has such an array of shades, such a variety of neutrals. But I find myself going to this one all the time. The quality, amazing. I use this on my eyes today. This is what I use today. So the browns that you see here, the light colors that you see here, the dark colors that you see here, this is this palette. And it's just such a good quality palette. I'm so happy that I picked this up. Also, the metallic one too. I love the metallic palette. I love the pigmentation that it has. I love the colors that it has. I like that it has, you know, an emerald in there, a green in there. Really can switch it up and do something with them. A lot of my clients, I just tend to use kind of like the golden colors, but I love this palette. The pigmentation is awesome. Since I first used it, the first time I tried it, just an amazing, and I knew I had to keep it in my kit. I knew I had to just use, like, this is just literally what I use all the time. Any other palettes that I bring, it's just in case, because this is probably the only thing I'm going to use because it's that great. What I also forgot to mention, so I'm going to add it in now since we're talking about eyeshadows, my favorite eyeliner has been the Brightening eye pencil from Makeup by Mario. It's what I have on today. I don't use these on my clients, only use this on myself. So I really love this eye pencil. I used to just use nude eyeliner, just a regular nude pencil, but this has been my go-to. I really love this eye pencil. So creamy, so brightening. As you can see, my lower lash line just looks super bright and wide because of this pencil. So again, I'm so happy that I purchased these products from him because they really have been something that I gravitate towards all the time. Next, for eyeshadow palettes, we're going to talk about the Revolution palette. This is the Makeup Revolution, the chilled palette with cannabis sativa. So this is a green palette. This has all your pretty greens in it. It has some browns in it, some neutrals, whatever, some glitters. It's a beautiful palette. And I bought this in the beginning of the 2020. I believe I bought it in March. I did like whole big shopping on Ulta, and I bought so much things, and this was one of them. But I really didn't play with it until about like summertime, and let me tell you guys, I love this palette. And I've had a couple of clients over the summer ask for like a green look. This has been my go-to. I also did a green look with this palette because I wanted to do like a fall kind of look. This, beyond my expectations. It was such a pretty palette. The shades really beautiful. Even the shimmers and the pressed glitters, really nice. I love this palette. I think it's a great palette. I do have the Jeffree Star Blood Money palette. I haven't used it in the way that I've used this, so I didn't want to add that to my list because that would be lying. So this for sure, it's a great palette. Good for the fall. Good for anybody that likes to do kind of green shades or just likes green in general. I really love this palette. Next, this palette, I was obsessed with this palette when it first came out. I didn't get it until about, I think in August I got it, and it came out in the beginning of 2020. This is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. Now, this palette, I love Huda Beauty. I have so many of her palettes. I think that she is one of my top favorite eyeshadow palette brands. I have a bunch of her minis. I have a bunch of her regular size. I just think overall, like the shade combinations she comes out with for her palettes are amazing. So that's why I always continue to purchase from her. So when I saw this one, just the packaging alone stole me. Like, do you see this? Do you see this? Like, look how gorgeous. This by far is one of my favorite. I use this on a lot of my clients also. The shades here are like your mauve shades. It has like this nice like blue side over here, your silver over here. It has where you can do like a nice neutral look, a nice mauve look. I tend to use this shade a lot for my makeup clients, and I use this shade a lot as well. Really nice shimmer shade. It really highlights the eyes nicely. So I tend to take these with my bridal clients because I always end up using one of these shades to really get a nice kind of shimmer on top if I'm not going to use the Mario one. But I personally have not even played with this myself or did a real look with this myself. I probably dabbled into these two shades for some look that I did. I don't even know. So I definitely need to play with this and do a nice look with this so that I can see like the colors and stuff. But Huda always has great pigmentation and such in her eyeshadow palettes. But I had to add this because I definitely use this a lot for my clients. So my next favorite palette is going to be the Nikkie Tutorial and Beauty Pay palette. I love the packaging. That's one of the reasons why it's my favorite. I've never owned an eyeshadow palette with packaging like this. I love that it's, you know, half nice, half dark. It just represents a lot of different people's personalities. Not mine per se because I'm an angel. But you definitely have the dark and the light side of people. So this palette has two mirrors on the side. One of them zooms in, which is this one, the dark side. But it has a really nice variety of shades. It has your neutrals. It has really nice glitter shades. It has shades that you can use with your finger or with your brush. And when she sent this out with the packaging and everything, she gave a little like index card that names what eyeshadows can be used with your finger and with a brush, or just better with a brush. So I like that she tipped that in there because there are a lot of eyeshadows out there that work better when used with your finger pigmentation wise. I'm not sure why. It just goes on better. The shine is more there. Like, it's just more pigmented when you use it with your finger. So there's a couple shades here that she has that you can do that for. I added this to my favorite just because I just really like the packaging of it. And you know what? I don't really know why this is my favorite, but I just love it. Like, I love this palette, and I always take this with me for my clients, and I don't even really use it. I've probably used maybe this silver shade up here. That's probably the most I've used for my clients, but I don't know. I think just the packaging wise, I just think that I really like it, and that's why it's my favorite. But I've done how many looks with this? I did the tutorial on here, and then I think I did like a blue look with this, and I did use it on a client before, but I don't know. I just really think this palette is super cute, so that's why I wanted to add it on here. Last but not least, we're gonna get into the last palette. This one is my all-time favorite palette. This palette represents me. This palette represents happiness. This palette represents color, and I love it. I was never a color girl, and I'm getting into being more colorful, which I like. I used to always just do my face natural, but this palette, when I saw that they were coming out with this palette, this was a hands down no-brainer. Had to have it. I don't care how much it was. I was getting this. So this is the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette. This is my favorite palette, not only because of the packaging, because like, do you see that? How adorable is this? On top of it being so cute, the price was amazing. I think it was like 30 bucks or 35. I don't know. Or even 45. Even so, even if it was 45, this is worth it. On top of that, this is what it came in. Ice cream truck. Like, I've never bought in a package or a palette that came so cute. Like, what? I had to save it because I felt like I was an influencer. Like, I felt like I made it, and I didn't make it yet, but I'm gonna make it one day. So I love it, and I really think that it was so dope that they sent it in this. I think that it was just so cute, so thoughtful for people that don't get makeup or don't get PR makeup and get these really beautiful packages. Like, I think that it was just such a nice treat, as you can say, to have and give to your consumers that are buying. So this is like by far one of my favorite palettes. This is my favorite palette out of all of these. Not only is it just beautiful outside, but the inside is just amazing. It comes with a huge mirror, and then the color scheme it has, it's just like such an amazing color scheme. This area here, just like, this calls my name. Like, it colors is just like, these are my favorite colors. Like, these are my favorite colors. Like, I can't, like, this palette was just made for me. Like, it was just made for you. For a Christine. It's a Christine by me right now. So I love that it comes with neutral colors. I just love it. I just love all of it. I love the names that they chose for it. Everything is a name, a food name. And if you guys know me, you guys know that my name is Cupcake. People call me Cupcake. If you don't know me, my name is Cupcake. And it's because I was obsessed with cupcakes. I was obsessed with sweets since probably high school. Like, the ending of high school is when I really got into like wanting to bake and be a baker and do all these things. So having this and them coming out with this, like, this was just like, no, I have to get it. Like, this is just me. And the person that created Glam Light line, she's just like my idol. Like, it's a food inspired makeup line. Like, what? Like, that's perfect. Like, it's just amazing. So I really love this palette. This is by far my favorite out of all the palettes. Even though I probably won't use it as much as all the other palettes, this is still going to be my favorite, just because the packaging is cute, and just because it's just so personal to me, because of something that I really actually love, and I love sweets. So this palette, hands down, my favorite palette. And once spring comes, you're going to be seeing some looks with this palette too. So guys, that is all for my 2020 favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed, and are my go-to. These are the things that I reach for consistently. These are things that I use for my clients. Like, these products here are just my ride or die products, and they have been throughout pretty much the whole year of 2020, majority of them. So I definitely can't wait to see what products I'm going to be using in this upcoming year, 2021, see if anything changes. But for 2020, these were my ride or dies, and I definitely recommend it to anyone. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate all you guys' support. If you guys have not already subscribed to be a part of the CHRISSY crew, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be a part of it. And please also give this video a big thumbs up if you like this video and want to see more videos like this. If you guys want to see more favorite videos, if you guys want question and answer videos, whatever you guys want, let me know in the comments below. But make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. I thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.